Mogadishu, Somalia. 20 years of political, religious and clan-based violent conflict. Unsuccessful and often misguided foreign interventions. War, drought and poverty have produced one of the most dangerous and hostile environments in the world.
A failed state.
The most dangerous place in the world.
A basket case.
A safe haven for terrorists.
Endemic corruption.
A humanitarian disaster waiting to happen.
In February 2007, in an attempt to halt the seemingly unstoppable downward spiral into chaos and anarchy, the UN Security Council passed a resolution that authorised African Union member states to form a stabilisation mission for Somalia. This mission was to be known as Amisom. This mission in Somalia would be supported logistically by the United Nations through its support office for Amisom, UNSUA.
This conflict is not a military conflict. It's a political conflict. It's a conflict that emanates from a vacuum. And for as long as that vacuum exists, this conflict will go on. The issues of piracy, the issues of the extremism, all those are just a symptom of but one thing: the lack of a strong central authority in Somalia.
Amisom is mandated to provide support to the transitional federal institution, the government and the parliament.
Amisom mandate is to do with support of the transitional federal government, its institutions, and ensure the belligerents come in for dialogue, create a situation conducive for distribution of humanitarian aid, and support the security stabilization program of the TFG.
We are here to fulfill the AU mandate, which is to assist the transitional government of Somalia.
Burundian and Ugandan troops soon deployed to Mogadishu, and what met them was a challenge far greater than could ever have been imagined. It quickly became apparent that the Amisom mission was overstretched. The political situation was worsening. Insurgents and terrorist gangs operated openly on the streets, and life for the average Somali was worsening on a daily basis. The September 2009 bomb attack on the Amisom base area. The December 3rd attack on graduating medical students that killed 3 government ministers. These attacks brought home the shocking reality of life in Mogadishu for civilians and African Union soldiers alike, a stark reminder of the dangers of operating in such an environment. But the Amisom mission continued in spite of these attacks. If anything, these attacks sharpened Amisom's focus as they increased their efforts to support the transitional federal government and the civilian population of Somalia.
We try to prepare the soldiers for the environment in which they are coming to operate, because as you realize, Mogadishu and Somalia in general is very different from our country, Uganda, both in terms of weather, in terms of the people, in terms of the behavior and the social norms and other practices. So since they are peacekeepers, since they are coming in a very new environment, we try to prepare them psychologically.
It is not too much to claim that without the support of Amisom and the international community, that the fledgling democratic government of Somalia would inevitably have fallen. In turn, the population would have faced twin disasters, a humanitarian crisis, and the brutal rule of Al-Shabaab. With the support of the international community, Amisom's humanitarian work has developed. Amisom's field hospitals are now the main source of free medical treatment for the people of Mogadishu.
Since 2007, we've treated about 100,000 civilian patients. Among these, we've had 3,000 operations. We have an outpatient department, which sees the larger bulk of patients who are civilians. On a daily basis, we see about 1,000 patients in the Uganda camp.
We have an influx of patients from Mogadishu and then as far as Malka, Kismayo, simply because we are rendering free medical services to the patients and people of southern Somalia.
Makati wamenipiga bomu, mimi naona nilikuwa nimevaa bodama, naona moto unaanza kuwaka kuchomeka, Mungu amepiga. Natoa bodama na tupe imechomeka na moto ndiye imechomeka.
The important thing is that I'm alive. And I must fulfill the work which shows that I'm alive. If it is to bring peace where there is no peace, we have to bring it.
Our aim of coming here was to help patients, help those severe injured soldiers and civilians. We even help the enemy. It's so funny. Yeah, he comes and we help him because he's a patient.
But whilst Amisom medics treats innocent civilians and the enemy alike, the Amisom soldiers continue to battle in support of transitional federal government troops on the streets of Mogadishu. And while some question the value of international intervention in Somalia, there seems to be no such doubt on the other side.
We encountered the sniper. Has been so dangerous, and I managed to dig in this hole so that I can see you. I suspect this to be 25. There's a new modification of 12. It's now a sniper gun. It's very modern. So we suspect this to be the one.
They can easily get from Afghanistan,
most likely.
Iraq, they can get.
The two sides of the Amisom coin. Support to the TFG, humanitarian assistance to civilians, shows the importance of the role international intervention can play and the difference they can make to Somalia. The Amisom mission is by no means near completion. The logistical support that the international community provides helps, but at the moment is but a drop in the ocean for a mission of this size.
I think the change to UNSOA was for the better. But if UNSOA stops today, that means we have to think, before it stops, we have to think about an alternative. Which alternative is not even there? We don't even think about it stopping, because if it stops, that means the stop of the mission.
Nonetheless, the Amisom mission is affecting positive change in Somalia. Al-Shabaab can be defeated. The TFG can succeed. Somalia can become a functioning nation once again.